Imam Ahmad was known to be very tough with regard to issues of hadith. The same Imam Ahmad, he had a friend called Bishr al-Hafi. And Imam Ahmad used to call al-Bishr my Ustad. And he would say, he's my Sheikh, he's my Ustad, he's my very dear friend, and so on and so on. He used to respect him a great deal, and he used to have a lot of love for him, and he used to call him my Sheikh, my Ustad. So somebody came and said to Imam Ahmad, you are calling this man your Ustad, but he does not know many hadiths. Okay? Because Imam Ahmad's standard is 120 hadiths, even that is kind of shaky with regard to whether he has a right to extract a hukum or not. And he said, Bishr al-Hafi does not know many hadiths. So how do you call him your Ustad? Imam Ahmad said, Bishr has the hasil of ilm. He has the essence of knowledge. Because he has Khashiyathullah. Now I'm not saying this to discourage you from learning. I'm just saying that in Islam, collection of information is not called ilm. This is a very big mistake that we seem to live in today. Because knowledge is easily available, we are all murideen of Sheikh Google. MashaAllah, no adab required, no nothing required. You can be in any state of najasat, you click and you get Bukhari Sharif and Muslim Sharif, and you get all the translations of the Quran and everything. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi would not give a dars of hadith. He would not speak a hadith until he was in a state of wudu. And he would not. Now, where is the hukum to say that you must be in a state of wudu in order to recite or read a hadith? Is that a hukum? No. People even have ikhtilaf with regard to whether you need wudu to read the Quran. I mean, forget that. But I'm just saying that hadith, there is no, not even any ikhtilaf, is not required. Why did he do it? Why did Imam Malik? Did Imam Malik know more deen, or do we know more deen? There's an issue of adab bin deen. And adab is to do more than what is required. Adab is to do more than what is required. People ask when you are praying, is it necessary to cover the head? It is not necessary even to wear a shirt. No, it's not necessary. For a man, as long as his aura is covered, which is from his above his belly button to below his knee, his salah is valid. So why don't you go and pray without a shirt also then? Issue of adab. You're going before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then they quote a hadith. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They quote actually two hadith. They say when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was praying and somebody was about to pass and he didn't have something for his sutra, so he put his turban. Another one they quote and they say that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam they quoted that he was seen and he had a bath and he came and he was worshipping and they could see the water from his hair. Now, I'm not going into the ikhtilaf or which hadith is dhaif and which is sahih and so on, but my point is, there's also a hadith of Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhu where he said, we saw Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on the mimbar and then he read salah and he was wearing a black turban. We also know from many hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam always covered his head, either with a cap or with a helmet or with a turban. Sometimes he tied the turban over the helmet and cap, sometimes he tied the turban without that. Not one, there are millions of hadiths, so hundreds of hadiths to say that he covered his head when he prayed. So how come today we have got into this habit where we never cover our head? I can understand if somebody says, I'm following all the hadiths of Mirza. So sometimes I pray with a head covering, sometimes I pray without a head covering, and that is also following of the hadith. Alhamdulillah, no problem. But with whole life we pray without a head covering. Why? Issue of Khashiyathullah. You are standing before Allah Jalla wa Ala. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni yusalli. Does it not also apply to the appearance? Or does it apply only to ruku and sujood? Does it also apply to appearance or not? Please reflect on these things. Please reflect on these things. We want a non-Muslim who has been worshipping idols all his life to leave what he and generations of his forefathers were doing and come into Islam just by your giving dawah. But you cannot put a cap on your head, even if somebody tells you 1,000,000 times. What kind of logic is this? You get the point I'm making? Khashiyathullah is to do more than what is required, not to do what is required or less than what is required. Is to do more than what is required. I'm giving you only an example of the cap, not because I don't have a shop selling caps, right? So I'm not trying to sell you caps. I was giving you an example of how do we demonstrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we love Him, that for us the greatest honor is to come and stand before Him. How do we demonstrate this? One of the ways of demonstrating that is to come to the masjid in a good state, in good clothes. I'm not saying you have to wear, brocade or something, obviously not. But good clothes, clean clothes, in a good clean state, like you're going before the Malikul Haqq. Ta'ala Allahul Malikul Haqq, la ilaha illa huwa Rabbul Arshil Kareem. You're going before the King of Kings. You're going before the one who makes kings and breaks kings. So what should be your situation and your state when you go before him? Khashiyathullah.